Daring attack shook the world when Ukrainian drones managed to penetrate deep into Russian territory and strike Moscow's most iconic skyscraper cluster, the Moscow City Towers, a symbol of wealth and power valued at more than $1.2 billion. The strike not only damaged glass, steel, and concrete but also struck the heart of Russia's image of security and invincibility. Hello everyone, welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel, and before we dive deep into this incredible development, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss our in-depth analysis of global conflicts and turning points in modern warfare. The story can be summarized like this: Ukraine has repeatedly signaled that Moscow itself is no longer untouchable. By using long-range drones, Kyiv managed to strike one of the most secure and symbolically important areas in Russia. Moscow City, often portrayed in films and international media as a futuristic financial hub, suddenly became a battlefield. The attack caused damage to prestigious towers, disrupted government communications, and forced Russian air defense systems to reveal their weaknesses. This was not only a tactical strike but also a psychological blow, showing the world that even the most protected capital is vulnerable. When examining the exterior of the Moscow City Towers after the drone attack, one is struck by the contrast between what they were designed to represent and the scars now visible on their facades. The towers, once gleaming with polished glass and stainless steel, symbolized Russia's economic ambitions and aspirations to rival global hubs like London or Dubai. Each building was designed with unique architectural character, reaching hundreds of meters into the sky. After the Ukrainian strike, images showed shattered windows, dark smoke marks along the pristine walls, and rescue teams struggling to secure the area. For years, the exterior was meant to reflect modernity and luxury, but today it reflects fragility, vulnerability, and the consequences of war spilling into the capital itself. Inside the towers, the damage was less visible but even more unsettling. Offices were shaken, communications disrupted, and people evacuated in panic. The interiors, usually filled with high-end corporate offices, luxury apartments, and polished marble lobbies, suddenly turned into scenes of emergency. Reports described smashed glass littering the floors, alarms blaring, and security teams rushing through the hallways. Though the structural core remained intact, the atmosphere of safety and prestige was replaced by fear and uncertainty. The short but shocking moment revealed how even spaces designed for comfort and elegance can be instantly transformed by modern warfare. In terms of performance, the drone strike highlighted both the strength and weakness of Russia's defense systems. Moscow is one of the most heavily defended cities in the world, protected by layers of air defense networks including the Pantsir, S-300, and S-400 systems. Yet, relatively inexpensive drones managed to slip through and hit targets worth billions of dollars. This mismatch between cost and impact demonstrates the performance edge of Ukraine's evolving drone tactics. Each drone carried a relatively small explosive payload, but when directed at sensitive high-value structures, their performance far exceeded their size and cost. They proved agile, difficult to detect, and capable of bypassing traditional defenses designed to counter missiles and aircraft, not swarms of small unmanned systems. The performance of Russia's defenses, by contrast, was exposed as reactive, slow, and insufficient to prevent symbolic damage. From the perspective of safety features, Moscow's towers were designed with advanced fire control, evacuation routes, reinforced concrete cores, and the latest engineering innovations to withstand accidents or natural disasters. Yet, when faced with a deliberate military strike, these safety features could only protect so much. The evacuation systems did function, allowing hundreds of people to leave the towers safely, and the fire suppression systems prevented flames from consuming entire floors. However, the strike revealed that even world-class engineering cannot eliminate the psychological shock of an attack. Safety systems can save lives, but they cannot preserve the image of invulnerability once the outer shell has been pierced. What makes this strike unique, and what forms the true selling point of the story, is not only the physical damage but the symbolic blow. For Russia, Moscow City was more than real estate. It was a showcase to the world that Moscow could be a global financial hub, competing with the West in luxury and power. For Ukraine, hitting this exact spot was a message. No matter how rich, no matter how prestigious, Russian symbols of pride can be reached. The unique selling point of the drones is their asymmetry. They are cheap, mobile, and expendable, yet capable of forcing Russia to spend vast sums on defenses and repairs. It demonstrates the changing nature of warfare, where small, smart technologies can undo the prestige of billion-dollar structures. When discussing price, the contrast becomes even sharper. The Moscow City Towers complex, valued at approximately $1.2 billion, represents investments from both state and private entities, foreign investors, and Russian oligarchs. The cost of repairing even limited damage could run into millions of dollars. Yet the drones that caused this may have cost only tens of thousands each to build. In military terms, Ukraine spent little but achieved maximum psychological and propaganda value. Russia, by contrast, must now invest far more in strengthening air defenses, repairing the towers, and reassuring the public. The price tag of the strike is not just monetary but reputational. Moscow, the heart of Russian pride, was shown to be vulnerable at a fraction of the cost of traditional military operations. In conclusion, the Ukrainian drone strike on Moscow's $1.2 billion city towers is a watershed moment in the ongoing conflict. It shows that even the richest symbols of national pride are not immune to modern warfare. The exterior of the towers now carries scars that tell a story of vulnerability. The interiors, usually symbols of prestige and luxury, briefly became spaces of fear and evacuation. The performance of drones against Russia's defenses highlighted the future of asymmetric warfare. Safety features prevented larger casualties, but they could not preserve the illusion of invincibility. The unique selling point of this attack lies in its symbolism: low-cost drones humiliating billion-dollar towers. The price comparison underscores the imbalance between investment and impact. Ultimately, the conclusion is stark. Ukraine has found a way to bring the war directly into Moscow, and Russia must now confront the reality that even its most prestigious landmarks are within reach. And this is only the beginning of a much deeper analysis, because as the war evolves, every strike, every counter-strike, and every technological leap reshapes the future battlefield. Stay tuned, because on World Conflict Monitor we will continue to bring you detailed breakdowns of these historic turning points. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this evolving conflict.